we have a huge problem in terms of, say, the literacy rates. Can we actually use mobile solutions for literacy? Can we actually build this whole spectrum of tools under one agenda? If we don't do this, then that means we are actually going to have multiple efforts and we are not very sure what's going to happen. And one more thing, in fact, I think there is a huge thing in terms of creating an opportunity out of this is that this is going to be a great leveler. When I am actually going to use things like technology, I see a great future ahead of this for one single reason, that you are not really going to see big companies actually become bigger. I hate the whole huge thing about capitalism, and that is that you actually have big companies. For a simple reason, there is a huge aggregation of wealth, and which is absolutely an antithesis of the capitalistic thought, which used to be that people are going to have equitable distribution of wealth and so on and so forth. With the coming in of the internet and this kind of impact, that means we are actually going to talk about systems where an equitable distribution of wealth is actually going to happen. Beautiful thing to see, but then yes, of course, it is going to happen with one single thing, that information asymmetry actually gets removed. Because right now, big companies become big because for a simple reason, there is a huge level of information asymmetry that exists. If they're able to do away with information asymmetry, that means we are going to have models which are going to be hugely different. We are going to actually have companies like, okay, now this conference is sponsored by a big company, but then if you really look at it, can we say that this big company is going to be something very different? When you talk about telecom companies, they were actually they're dumb companies today for a simple reason. It's about the value-added services and other service providers who are making money and who have actually disaggregated across the value chain. And that's the same thing that has to happen in the whole mobility concept itself. Car manufacturers have to be categorized as dumb set of people. For a simple reason, it's just about a box on 4 tires, and then it's going to be different sets of services that will actually have to come across the board. So this is going to hugely transform the way we actually look at the whole huge capitalistic thought and the models that could actually get created. And this is going to be a great playing field for a country like India or a place like, say, Africa, because this is where economic opportunities and entrepreneurial opportunities are actually going to come across. A very simple thing, it's going to be things across the value chain of, say, transportation in a country like India, wherein you are going to have different sets of opportunities, or in, say, Africa. You're going to have somebody who's just going to talk about moving a person from a city or, say, a metro station to a local place. And that's one economic opportunity that would actually exist. And there are going to be some different sets of models that are actually going to get created. But this is going to take you to a system wherein you're going to have large sets of small players who are actually going to come up. So what we are saying is, like, this whole huge concept in itself has the ability and the power to make it a socially equitable or a idea. So what we are saying is, we have to actually build ideas which take us to a situation wherein we have equitable distribution of wealth, wherein you are actually going to talk about economic competitiveness, and wherein you are actually talking about prosperity for all. Thank you.